Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Elliot Browne here in the Essex Business Radio studio, and I'm here for another very exciting and compelling episode of C-19, How We Deal With It, where I'm chatting to people everywhere about C-19, how it's affected everybody's lives, what they're doing to cope with it and deal with it, and any ideas and tips they've got to help you or anybody else out there with what's going on here and possibly in their business as well. And today, Stuart Rice is joining me from America in Gresham, although I don't know where that, in Portland, Gresham in Portland, who's Level Up Sales and Management Coaching. How you doing, Stuart?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking. And thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it far more, to be honest. And so there you are. So we were talking before the show, and I actually feel like we've got to know each other a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Gresham, you said people don't know of. But
No. Yeah, so Gresham is just east of Portland, and it's like 150,000 people. I love the community. I'm pretty involved with the community.
Okay.
So I do like to mention that it exists, but
Yeah.
most people don't know it. Everybody knows Portland because of Portlandia.
Of course.
But the thing I will tell you about Portlandia is that what they do on the show tones down what actually happens here in Portland. So
right.
If you think that show is weird, don't visit. Don't come see us.
I love that. But it's in the state of Oregon, though, yeah?
Yes, state of Oregon.
Okay. So we've just put Gresham on the map now. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
That's how popular this show is. No, not really. But it could be. You never know. It will be.
It will be. It's not a matter of it could be. It will be.
You know that, that's right. Yes, absolutely. But you do podcasting, right? You're a seasoned podcaster.
I am a seasoned podcaster. It does not mean I'm successful, but yeah, seasoned. I have a show called Sketch Comedy Podcast Show, where I invite interesting people to have intriguing conversations, and then we improvise a comedy sketch based on what we talked about. Yeah. And then the other show I have is just brand new. It's called the Sales Podcast for People Who Hate Sales, where it's tips and tricks and well, not so much tricks, but it's what it is it's an ethical approach to sales, which that's the big thing that people hate about sales, is that they feel so unethical doing it, but there's an ethical way of doing it that's very effective.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, maybe what we'll do is maybe we'll cover that on another podcast at some stage, because there's a lot to be taken from that. In fact, not only do you have the podcast doing that, but you've just written a book as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I just wrote a book.
Well, where is it?
Yeah. It's called The Sales Book for People Who Hate Sales, and it's big. Look at it. It's bigger than my head.
It is, but it's not just big. I mean, it's a thick book as well, yeah.
A thick book as well, and it's a workbook. So it's not a lookbook. It's a workbook. And you actually have exercises that you do, but at the end of the exercises, you have a much better comprehension of what customers go through, as well as how to do it in a way that feels really good to do it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, and this is from your 25 years experience in sales as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I was an award-winning sales trainer, a nationally recognized award-winning sales trainer.
Okay, right. Wow.
And this was the approach that I was teaching at the time.
So tried and tested, and so you're confident to put it out there to the big wide world.
Absolutely. I'd love to see more people use it, because I hate getting bad service.
Yeah. And we spoke about this before we started recording. I mean, you launched this and you released it on the 25th of March, right?
Yeah, timing, right? Timing.
Mate, you were absolutely bang on with that, weren't you?
Yeah. So unfortunately, what I did was I had set it up. Amazon offers this great program where you can pre-sell the book. Yeah. As soon as I started pre-selling the book and set the date, that's when C-19 started showing. Back then it was known as coronavirus, and so everybody stopped drinking Corona. Yeah. But so that's when it started the pre-sell, and of course people are distracted. Yeah. And then by March 25th, nobody was paying attention to anything. So
of course.
All of the people that said yes, we're going to support you. Yes, we're going to buy the book. Yeah. And they were so distracted, or they were so worried about getting laid off or furloughed or whatever all of those things were. So they tended not to do that. So so that you have to kind of change your perspective on what exactly it is that you're going to do. Yes. Obviously my entire business model for the book had to change.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do the local promotions where I was going to go around and visit local bookstores, local libraries, and do book signings and those things. So the thing is that we get into a situation like this, and I love the expression "the undiscovered country." It's a Shakespearean thing. It's also a Star Trek thing from, I think, Star Trek 6.
Okay,
the movie.
all right, I'll go with that on this
But
one.
yeah, but the idea is we don't know what that's going to be like, and so we tend to panic, and that's when fear creeps in. And it's something I talk about in the book a lot, is that fear is the biggest enemy for somebody that's in sales, is because when fear happens, you can't make decisions. You're so wrapped up in your head, and you're creating narration in your head that doesn't exist. So the idea here is that I had to do the things that were normal for people.
Right.
Like, what is the normal thing for a book release? Well, the normal thing is like a book signing. So that's a normal thing that happens. But I can't do a book signing as I normally do. So instead, what I did was I decided to do an online stunt. So what I did was on Facebook and on YouTube, I did an 8-hour book signing. So for 8 straight hours, I did not take a potty break.
Okay.
I had a Gatorade bottle that I filled. No, I'm just kidding. But
don't get it mixed up.
Yeah, no, but I sat here for 8 hours and spoke with, I was able to get about 10 or 12 guests on the show. And we just talked about different aspects of sales and even the C-19. Like, how are you compensating? And kind of just went through the book, and it was great, because what it did was it got a lot of people to see what was inside the book, and see that it wasn't just whatever it was. But I was able to do that, and then get these personal friends that also, they have their own sphere of influence.
Of course,
get them to see it. And so I was able to get, I would say in total, like, it's a little less than 1,000 people that got to see the book signing. But I think about that, and I'm like, if I did an actual book signing, I couldn't get 1,000 people to go look at it. So.
Exactly. So you were very adaptable straight off. So so what's the plan with that sort of moving forward? Are you going to continue to do stuff like that to sort of promote it until you get to whatever normality is going to be again at some stage?
Sure. And I think the new normal is going to be far different than what we think.
Oh yeah, mate. So, we're definitely in a new world. I mean, there's no way. There's no other way to put it. We are in a new world now, for sure.
Yeah. And there's no going back, and it's tough, and it's scary. It is scary for a lot of us.
Are you scared, or are you excited? I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm in a good position because I am comfortable doing this.
Yes.
Right. So I've somehow, very fortunately, decided to do this really weird hobby that put me in a good position for doing exactly this. And so I was able to do the 8 hours. I go back and look at the video, and I'm like, how was I that on for 8 hours? Like, that's crazy. I'd never lost a smile. I haven't watched the entire 8 hours because that's a little narcissistic, but I scroll through. And so what I've decided to do is, to keep practicing that every day at 9:30, I open up something called Coffee Chat, where I just invite people to just jump on, and we just kind of do this. It's a Facebook Live.
Okay.
It's just something to keep it going and hone these skills, because this is how I'm going to probably communicate with most of my customers at this point.
I think you're absolutely right, and I sort of touched on it a little bit. I mean, I've got a background in sales and things, and a management consultancy company, which has completely changed. I haven't really spoken about this, to be honest, actually, in the podcast, really. Mm-hmm. But everything's changed now. This, as I said to you before, started as a bit of a hobby just before Christmas. Did a few, had a few chats with business owners, and that were fairly local. And they come in and sit here in the studio and have a chat. And this, in essence, I see now as being the new platform for the business and changing what we're doing. And I've got some ideas, and we'll put that into practice. And I decided on that pretty quickly, like you did with the book. That changed overnight, and so you've got to decide, put away, because you are used to using this platform. It was an easy way for you to go, I'm going to leverage that, I suppose, and get myself out there through that. And you got yourself out to 1,000 people. Now, if you hadn't have done that, who would it have gone out to?
It would have gone out to nobody. Exactly. I mean, it would have done I would have basically looked at the sales numbers and gone, well, that was a wasted 6 months. That's how long it takes to write a book. Just so everybody knows, 6 months minimum.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a lot of
but
people writing books. There's a lot of people writing books right now as well, isn't it? I've heard a lot of people have got time, so they're sitting down and writing the book that they said they never were going to, they never had time to write.
yeah,
There's going to be an influx of bloody books going on, that's for sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what's interesting is you would think like, well, with all this time off, like people are reading books, but it's
Yeah.
really interesting because a lot of times, and same with podcasting, is like you'd think like, oh, well, now people can catch up on their podcasts.
Yeah.
But they're not going anywhere. So they're not driving in their cars. So audiobook sales and podcasts are down. So we got to figure out like, how do we get people engaged? Where are they sitting right now? They're sitting on their couch. They're looking at their phone. They're they're streaming Netflix or Disney Plus or one of those things. But you're not 100% engaged in anything, right?
No.
So you've got a little spare time to look at somebody who's talking on a screen and what are they talking about? They seem animated. That's the way we're going to capture more people to get interested in reading the book or doing those types of things.
Definitely.
And we just have to
go on.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say we just have to disrupt. It's got to be a little disruptive, not overly disruptive. I don't want to, I certainly don't want to have a YouTube ad in the middle of somebody's YouTube session because I think those are useless ads. Because every time I see one, I'm like, I don't want to buy that product just because they annoyed me with their ad.
Yeah.
But I want to find a way to kind of like sneak into somebody's day, just even a little bit, and invite them into having some sort of an interaction. I don't care really what the interaction is.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm hoping that people want to find out like, what is it that I do in this situation? Because I am trying to sell something or my business is trying to do something, but we've got this new paradigm and what do I do in this new paradigm? And it's like, sometimes you need, as a consultant yourself, you sometimes just need that outside look to go, oh, hey, well, did you think about this?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, I didn't. So that's, that I think is really the key is just finding a new way to reach out and touch somebody, but you're not allowed to do that.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
We're not going to be touching any, we've got social distancing going on, but I think you can still touch people in the right way if you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think you're right. I mean, you've got, do you know what? It's a massively valid point as well. There is a lot of people putting content out there at the moment. And I have to be honest, there's a lot of people putting the same types of content out as well. Mm-hmm. They're doing some sort of fucking dance. Oh, excuse me, I shouldn't have sworn there. This is going back to my natural way of doing podcasts, isn't it? It's because I feel really natural with you, to be fair. I'll probably cut that bit out. But anyway, that's quite funny. It's the first time I've done that. But I think there's a lot of people doing the same sorts of posts and stuff that are going out there. It's quite interesting that you should bring that up because I think you're absolutely right. You've got to grab people's attention right now because people really genuinely are flicking from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. And, whereas everybody's moaned at their kids or other people being on the phones all the time, oh my God, everybody is on their phones now, aren't they? Everybody's on them. So I think it's a really valid point and not something I expected to be brought up in this. And I hadn't really considered it. But better than ever, I think you've really got to think about what you're putting out there content-wise. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's one of those, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this, and it's very hard to wrap your mind around it first, but you have to, it's the jab, 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 right punch, which is, or right hook, which is the, you give, and then you ask.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you're creating content, especially creating content around your business, and you're doing this as well. Yeah. You're creating content that has value for people.
Yeah.
And you're giving it to them so that they can experience it. And then when it comes time to, you ask, and the people that are, genuinely interested are going to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I think that it's, to me, it's more important. It's less important to have, you forgot to pay the phone bill or the energy bill.
One of the lights has just gone. Just bear me 1 second.
Oh, no.
We can always slip.
Sure.
That was weird. The light switch decided to have a freak. Do you know, I'll probably even leave it in there. It's natural, isn't it? It's real. Whatever.
It's a natural situation. It's a natural
situation. Yeah. We forgot to pay the electricity bill. In which case we would be buggered completely, wouldn't we? Right.
Yeah,
now?
No, we'd be really. Yeah, the connection would be terrible.
Yeah. So on that subject then. So and. With regards to your book and stuff like that, I mean, the content that you're going to put out there, you did that 8 hours. I mean, that's obviously grabbed some attention.
Sure.
Is there a way of you mixing that sort of, your comedy things and sort of bringing that to the forefront to grab people's? Is that what you've been? Could you use that? Are you thinking about using that? I'm just genuinely thinking off the top of my head as we talk.
Absolutely. So the way I need to start doing more of this. This is the thing, is that it's just really been like, I woke up the other day and I realized, man, I really want to connect with people, and I haven't found a way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I just decided every morning at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
I was just going to jump online, open it up to anybody, and if anybody wanted to join in, great. Luckily, I've had people want to join in, because otherwise it'd make it really difficult.
That's handy.
Yeah. And even within that, I realized, like, I was asking people to jump on the call, but people are very uncomfortable with it right now because they are not personal grooming the way they used to. Right. Yeah. So
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, you look all right.
Yeah, well, because I knew I was going to be on camera. That's why I had showered yesterday. But but I noticed that, like, people were commenting, but they didn't want to jump on the call. So I realized, like, I got to make a change in the way I've approached this, because I was like, come on, guys, jump on the call. Like, let's have a chat. No, if they're chatting, they're talking to me. So I just started talking to the chat.
Yeah.
And that was amazing, because that was a transformative experience, because as soon as I started doing that, that changed more interaction.
Right.
When you get more interaction, it's better. So as far as the comedy goes, I actually do have a couple ideas of ways of maybe changing the show and doing like mini-sodes as opposed to a full-blown
which is
episode.
the sort of thing I was thinking. You maybe just to like little like snippets or clips or something like that to maybe just attract that attention. I guess again, that's that sort of that sort of acquisition ladder type thing, isn't it? Where you've sort of, let's give us a little snippet here, and we'll give you a little bit more. Be quite a good idea to do that, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And people like to see other people's smiling faces. Yeah. So I think that, and we're starved for it right now. And you're right. People are producing a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing doing a crazy dance, and it's like, okay, or they're performing on their guitar, and that's great. And I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Also fatigue, and that's not really a real personal connection.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's typically what I would be watching on the internet is someone doing a crazy dance or someone doing something wild.
That's what TikTok's for, right?
That's what TikTok is for. That's why TikTok is so popular.
Yeah, for sure.
That and the Chinese government needs to spy on us. But
controversial.
But I'm joking.
I know.
I'm just joking.
This is humor. No, we're good.
Yeah. But I think it's important for things like this, where people are talking into the camera and you're making some sort of a connection and speaking directly to somebody, because that's really what people crave. I think they crave it quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I could talk to you for a very, very long time. So what's I mean, we haven't really covered very much actually on the sort of how that's affected you, because you in essence have said yourself, before we started recording, that you're not one for necessarily going out. You're a bit entrepreneurial in doing what you do. You're creative in your way, and so you're in quite a lot. So the impact of the sort of lockdowns and this isolation hasn't necessarily impacted you in a massively negative way, then, really.
Well, I mean, sex life, yes, but as far as professional life,
you're the third person to have said that this week.
I mean. That's a whole nother podcast, but
I reckon we could do one on that, though.
I think we could. We'd probably get some pretty good listens off that.
Well, there's a note that way. I'm just going to note that down there.
Just note that down. We'll chat about that. But so it has been, because I've been doing a lot of virtual stuff for a long time. This was just like a nice, easy way to slip into doing this, and even still, like, I'll even say to this point, it wasn't an easy slip in, because I I'm used to doing it a certain way. Yeah. And now it's like the cheese has moved, and I had to move with the cheese. Like, it's not, people are not looking for audio podcasts they can listen to in their cars. Yeah. Now they're looking for something completely different. Yeah. And that's the thing you have to get into, is you don't have to, I mean, we don't have to become 100% experimental.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to start going like, well, maybe if I, read my book in the nude in 3D, virtual space,
well,
that would be, but I mean, that might be, there could be something there, but maybe if I'm doing like an 8,
note that down as well.
Note that down. But maybe if I do an 8-hour thing and I go through the book virtually and people can see what's inside the book.
I think that's a great idea, and it worked. It worked, didn't it?
It worked to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, it got people interested in seeing it.
You put it out to an audience as opposed to trying to push it out to an audience outside of your existing audience, and that's where you start getting that that slightly different traction. Where look, Stuart, I genuinely could talk to you for hours, and I feel like I've made a new friend across the pond, another new friend. So I think we'll bring hop on another podcast at some stage.
Without a doubt,
definitely do that. Where can people find your book, Stuart, and where can people find what you do? And you?
Well, the easiest way to do it is I'll just give 2 websites. I'll start with levelupyoursales.com.
Yeah.
That is the way you can find me on my for the coaching.
Yeah.
And it's you can get a copy of the book. You can get a free copy of the ebook for one of them if you'd like. Just sign up for the newsletter, and it's a simple, very short newsletter. The other one is Sketch Comedy Podcast Show. Yeah. You got to put all 4 of those words in there.
I'm looking forward to checking this out.
Yeah, it's a fun show, and I think I've got people from all over the world that are on the show. Yeah. Arranging in Australia is really difficult.
Oh, really? Can we? Do you reckon we could do one? Do you reckon we could sort something out?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
that'd be fun. I'm intrigued. I think that'd be good fun. I'll definitely love to do that with you.
Yeah. Take a listen to one of the shows, and then let's do it.
Yeah, I will do, definitely. But Stuart, I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of luck with your book, of course, and what you do with that. I'm intrigued to see what you're going to do and how you're going to get that out there. I think, listen, you've got the right outlook. You're a positive guy. You're creative, so you'll find a way of making that work for sure. And if we can help and do anything from this side of the water, who knows? We'll definitely be putting links up around so everybody can find you anyway.
Excellent. Buy a book. That's the best way to help.
I'll do that. And I'm not being funny, but you can never stop learning about sales.
It's true. Yeah, there's a lot of Eastern philosophy in the book that's hidden. So it's like it's a little bit different of a read from most sales books.
Yeah, definitely. Any last tips and ideas you've got for everybody out there with dealing with this? And
I'm not going to say anything that's going to be any different from anybody else. Is don't get discouraged. But here's the one thing I will say: you are going to be sad. You are going to feel down about this.
Yeah. Don't
try to mask it. Go ahead. If you need to take a bath and weep in the shower where you can't tell where the tears end and the shower begins, go do that. Get through it. Once you're done with it, once it passes through you, you're going to feel so much better and be able to engage with whatever you need to do next. So don't try to deny the feelings. Accept them, let them pass through, and then get to work.
Wow.
Do some action.
That's mate. That's deep. I love that. Well done. I'm genuine. What a great note to finish on. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And I look forward to getting to know you further. Off air as well. No, thanks very much, Stuart. I've really enjoyed our podcast, and I'm looking forward to getting on yours. You'll share this out to your audience, of course, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I think it's great. It's good stuff.
Good, cool, brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Stuart. Well, listen, I think that was amazing. I hope you've all enjoyed that. And if you don't know anything about Essex Business Radio and you've only just seen this or you've seen a clip, go to www.essexbusinessradio.com. You'll find all the links for everything there, and obviously there'll be links around this post or anything to do with this for Stuart as well. Thanks again, Stuart. I shall catch up with you very, very soon. So I'm going to sign off for now. So it's ciao for now, Brown Cow.